With the addition of the KC-17 to the Assault class in Delta Force with the launch of Season 6 and the brand new skin for the KC-17, I thought there was no time like the present to make a hipfire CQB build for the KC-17 in my attempt to hipfire-ize all of the weapons in Delta Force. So we got a brand new blank KC-17 here with the new skin, and I gotta say, even though the new skin, looks somewhat kind of goofy, I like the overall black and red aesthetic of it, and just the accents with the barbed wire just brings it all together. But I digress. We're going to start off with the barrel here. So the first thing we're going to change is we're going to put on the KC-17 dagger barrel. Now I had tried to make one with this, but it just takes out too much accuracy. And considering this weapon doesn't have the option to not have a stock on, you won't be able to bring that accuracy up high enough to make it make sense for a hipfire build. So just go with the KC-17 dagger barrel. For the muzzle device, now I chose to go with the DTK muzzle brake to bring that accuracy a little bit higher and also give us some extra control. For the foregrip, now unfortunately you don't have access to like the ZFG or whatever it's called and the competition hand stop, so we're going to have to put the mini hand stop on here. It still gives you a very respectable +8 accuracy and +2 handling. For the magazine, now you obviously have the option to put the 75 round drum mag on here. It's a little bit overkill, and honestly that -12 penalty to handling really hurts, so I chose to go with the 45 rounder in this case with the mag assist that gives you +1 handling. For the rear grip, I went with the AR heavy tower grip in order to get stats across the board for everything. And then for the grip mount, I went with a stable grip base because some of the attachments that we're going to put on here really reduce the overall stability, and you don't want it to go too low. Otherwise, when you do need to ADS, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So go ahead and install that. For the stock, we're going with the KC-17 Advanced Combat stock, which is the only stock that provides you with extra accuracy among all the choices here. It does penalize you on the handling a little bit, gives you extra stability and control, so overall a pretty solid stock. For the optic, I went with an RDS of my choice, so just the mini red dot sight for this specific weapon. And then for all three of these patches here, we're going to go with the Hornet handguard panel to get +4 accuracy for each panel, so very good investment of an attachment here. And then finally for the right rail, we're going to go with the red laser because it fits the aesthetic of the weapon and it gives you better hipfire accuracy and faster ADS speed when you have it on. So go ahead and equip that. Now for the calibration here, considering we're going with a hipfire CQB build, we're going with +50 grams to get extra firing stability just to keep it somewhat manageable, and -10mm to get extra ADS speed. For the foregrip, we're going to go with -2 slots and -20mm, extra ADS movement speed, extra ADS speed. For the rear grip, we're going to go with +50 grams and -20mm, extra hipfire aim speed, extra control. For the stock, we're going with +50 grams and +50mm to get even more firing stability and more control. This weapon does shake quite a bit considering that we reduced the stability, and it does have a pretty fast fire rate, so when you do need to ADS, I wanted to make sure that it was still competent. Finally, for the optic, we're just going with -20mm in eye relief, as I always do. So looking at the stats of the KC-17, so the damage is 24 to the chest, 24 to the stomach, 21 to all the limbs, and 30 to the head, so it very much performs in line with a lot of the SMGs that the support class has access to. And the damage fall off with this specific build is, what is that, like 24 meters, or is it 25 right on the dot? Look at that. It's 25 right on the dot for the damage drop-off, so you're really going to want to use this weapon in more CQB engagements. For the control, not terrible. We added +15 points, so you can see pretty flat across the board with pretty reasonable firing stability, and overall, even at range, like if you need to use it at like 40-50 meters, you're going to be able to control it pretty effectively. For the handling, we lost a little bit here, but the current ADS speed is not crazy. Off of what it was at the beginning, so 367 milliseconds. Sprint to fire delay 209 to 220. You can make it a little bit quicker by reducing the firing stability. I just felt it performed just fine this way. Stability, we bumped it up by 4 just to keep it somewhat in line and also have that extra lens stability when firing, because otherwise it was shaking all over the place. And finally, the accuracy bumped it up by a whopping 44, so you're going to be able to easily fire down people at like 15 to 20 meters with this thing without too much of an issue. And in order to use this KC-17 build, you will need to level up the weapon to 56, which is about like 2/3 of the way through the progression. So not too crazy, just maybe invest some of those weapon XP tokens that you might have been saving for a long time if you don't have the weapon leveled up already. But the KC-17, it shoots fast. I would like for it to do a little bit more damage, maybe even get rid of the damage reduction for the limbs. I think it would bring it more in line with a lot of the other ARs in the game with the TTK and all that. Right now it feels more like an SMG, and the way we have it built here, it does perform like an SMG, so it gives you that really CQB weapon for obviously the assault class that I mentioned. They just got added, the KC-17 to the weapon roster, and the support as well. You know, we can't forget about them because the weapon was originally only reserved for the support before being added to the assault class, but it does give you a nice weapon to use in those CQB engagements. And I love hipfire. It's just so effective at even reasonably long ranges in Delta Force, and I just have a blast using weapons like this because you just don't need to ADS for the most part. But I definitely think the KC-17 could do with a slight buff because it's on the higher end of the TTK scale for ARs, and it would be nice to have it a little bit more in line. But nonetheless, I was having fantastic games and an absolute blast using this weapon. Hip firing is just so much fun, and obviously the brand new skin, which I believe you can get for free if you like do the little challenge thing where you move your character, but depending on how many times you play, you get like a certain amount of moves that you can move. I think it's a little bit random, but as far as I understand, the KC-17 skin you can get for free as well as the bundle, because they give you like special tokens to spend on the SAW collab. So if you like the way the skin looks, maybe look into that. You just have to go into the events tab and then simply go to the special, and then we have Billy's Playground here, which gives you all those tokens in order to unlock the skin. As per usual, the weapon share code will be in the description down below as well as in the top pinned comment. If you'd like to see a weapon featured in an upcoming episode, please let me know down there. In any case, I'll leave you a few highlight clips of me using a specific build, but yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
Whirlwind disc released!